So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a prosthetic like this one. It's going to be a horn for my Halloween costume that looks broken off. But to originally make a prosthetic, you would have a mannequin face, you'd put clay on it and shape the shape you want, and then you would put a cement base over that, and then you would take off the cement base off the mannequin, and then you would peel out the clay, and then inside now you have a mold and cement, and then you pour like silicone or foam into the mold, and then you wait for that to dry, and then you take it out and then you paint it or apply it to the person. But we're going to be doing that with less steps today, and it'll be a lot easier and a lot faster and a lot more simple to do it. It'll also be a lot cheaper too. You'll be needing baby powder, cotton balls, liquid latex, which you can get at any Halloween store, and you can also get online, but usually the ones online are bigger. You'll also need 2 cheap paint brushes or makeup brushes. Do not expect to be getting one of them back. You'll also need clay. You can use any kind of clay except for Play-Doh, paper mache clay, which is really weird, or that pretty cheap stuff. I meant to say cheap, not creep. But otherwise, any other clay like Sculpey or whatever this is will be fine. You'll also need a clean slate to work on. So I'm just using butcher paper. So what you want to do is you want to take your clay and make a mold. So what I was doing was I am making a broken off horn. And so what I did was I made the mold of the broken off horn, and on the insides, all that stuff. Most of the details will come up, but some of them, if they're too detailed, will not come off. And once you're done making it, you want to like try to put it on your head, not actually stick it on there, just see if it looks right, and the size will shrink a little bit because of the liquid latex being on there. And once you've done that, you want to cover it in baby powder, as you can tell I've already done. And once you coat it in baby powder, it should look something like this, or this. You want it heavily coated so that the liquid latex does not stick to the clay when and after you apply the liquid latex or you're removing it. So now that we have your thing covered in baby powder and sculpted, you want to take the liquid latex, you also want to take the brush that you don't want anymore, and you just want to apply to the mold. You want to use your paintbrush to apply evenly around the entire item. Try not to touch the wet areas at all, because the liquid latex will either stick to your fingers or you'll accidentally ruin the coating. You want to coat the mold about 5 to 7 times. And a little goes a long way. Like, I have just about covered my entire mold with just a little bit. But try avoiding touching it. Once you've coated it, you want to let it dry for like 20 minutes or so. So just wait a while. Okay, so now that you have your prosthetic and it's dry, pay attention to this one, not this one, because I'm working on this one now. But you'll want to apply baby powder on the outside. The prosthetic will still look really, really wet, but it's not. So don't poke it with your finger. You'll screw it up. So you want to apply baby powder on the outside of it, so that when you're removing it, it does not stick to itself or anything else. Powder to the outside of the prosthetic. You want to actually make sure that every single tiny crack has it, because the tiniest thing will screw everything up. So make sure that you're absolutely thorough with your powdering. So now what we're going to do is we're going to remove this. And this is the part you want to be the most careful. So what you'll want to do is you want to lift up one end very slowly, and then you want to start applying baby powder on the inside. so that it won't stick to anything. If you don't get it on the first try, it's okay. You'll just have to put more latex on. For something more complicated like this, this is very hard because of all of the ridges and how big it is. The smaller and less complex it is, the easier it is to do. Even just like little ridges on the side like this is very difficult to have the latex come off. So the more simpler you go, the easier it'll get. Like, on the video, that was not successful. I needed to put more latex. If you want to have a complicated and big piece, you're going to have to use more latex. But if you want a less complicated piece with that's smaller, you'll need less latex. So here's an example of one of my fails. This is the horn. I started off really good and then it got thinner and it broke, and that's the edge of the horn. This is a fail example, and this is dang it, I dropped it. A successful successful sample. Kind of hard to see in the camera how successful it is, but it is good. So what you want to do now is you want to take your prosthetic and take your cotton balls and rip the cotton balls up and stuff it. Be very gentle though, don't like viciously stuff it because that like hurt it. So for my small prosthetic that I'm doing right now, which is the broken off horn, I'm only using like 1.5 cotton balls. But the more full you can get, the more stiff and realistic it will look. And so there. And then all you want to do to apply it is use spirit gum, and do not get liquid latex in your hair because it hurts. Like the liquid latex, like when it's drying. Let it just stay. So when you're applying it, you probably want to paint it before you apply it,